Hello. This session I will teach you how to use contacts and actually contact services. It means that by watching this session you will be able to add a contact to your list or remove a contact from your list or edit one of your contacts or even update them. This session we will also talk about how to show contacts inside an application, and we have a list of them inside the application. So let me enter the emulator and open the contacts. You will see that there are two contacts with numbers and the names are determined here. But what should we do to access this content in our application? So first, we enter the project. We want to create an application that prints our contacts. So we enter popspec.yum and we add a library to our libraries. The library that I suggest you is called Contact Service, and it is one of the most powerful libraries for both Android and iOS. And the benefit is that it allows you to add, remove, update, or even edit your contacts. But remember that we need to use permission handler besides contact services. So first we should add the first library, and then we have to use permission handler library to be added to our libraries. I type permission handler flutter. It will show the library to me. We're going to use this library. In order to have a list of libraries for yourself and choose from them, the only thing you need to do is to go to a website called poop.dev and search your favorite library there. It can find you whatever library you are looking for. So let's go to our project and use these libraries. I type contact service, contact service. I place a colon here. I have to write the version, so I should write version, and in order to have the symbol of the version, we have to use Shift+6. And if you cannot copy it, if you cannot type it, you can copy and paste it here. We have to select the version, and we select 0.3.10. And we also need the permission handler library. We are going to use the version 4.4.10. Now, I should select package.get to add these packages to our project. After doing this, look at here. It shows that we do not have 4.4.10 version. And it seems that we have to change the version. I have mistyped it and I have to change it to 4.4.0. Now it's okay, yes. We enter the project. In order to find the libraries, you have to go to the installing section and copy and paste this to your project. Since I have used this in my previous project and I'm using the same ones to teach it to you. And there is a new version of permission handler, but I'm using the previous one because actually there is no difference between the new and old version, so I didn't download the new version. So we enter the site. There is a README file here. We see that it asks us to add 2 permissions inside manifest for Android. But what are the permissions? They are called read contacts and write contacts. If you want to read contacts, you have to add this permission to the manifest of Android, and in order to edit or change, you have to add write contact. And it is the same in the iOS too. Yeah, in the iOS you have to use ns.contacts user description in the project. So I copy these two and then enter the project. Android, app, src main, and Android manifest, and paste them inside the manifest tag. This is the application tag, and this is the manifest tag. I paste them here. I enter iOS, and then I go to the runner and info.dist. I click here, and I place the permission inside iOS. I place it inside dist. It is better to put all of them in one line in order to have a better arrangement for our codes. After this, now we enter main.dart and we enter the related codes here. I create a function named refresh contacts. And since I want to add await inside this function and place sync here, yes. Async is for functions in which you want to use the word await. I have to create another function here for the permissions. First, I have to get the read contacts and write contacts permission from the application. So, to this end, I add a feature here, and actually this feature is of permission status type. So the type of the feature is permission status. I have to give a name for this feature and I select check permission for that. So the name I give it is check permission. And then I enter inside it and I say that permission status is a variable named permission. And I ask it to await permission handler. dot check permission status, and it asks us to make a permission group, and we have to have a list of permissions. Let's go to the permission handler. I scroll down. We have to have a list of permissions, as I said. But actually, when I scroll down, I see that there is nothing here. And do you know the reason? Actually, it is due to the fact that we are using the version 4.4.0. Let me go to Documents, inside the versions, and show you the document of 4.4.0 version. Yeah, it is here. As you can see, it has a list of permission groups. It has a permission for sensors, for speech, for location, for camera, for contacts, and etc. And you can select the ones you need here. So we enter the project, and if we want to select a permission group for that, we have to write this code. We write permission.group. It has contacts, phone, location, microphone, and that we have to choose one of them based on our needs. Since we do not need permission handler very much, I do not describe you the details of it. Most of libraries have permission handler inside them, and there is no need to use permission handler for them. It means that they have written codes for the permission handler by themselves, and the developer does not need to write any codes for that. This is the only library which needs permission handler. We select contacts. It is created. It says that when we have await, we should use async. And we press Alt plus Enter on our keyboard, and it shows add async, and we select that one. That's it. We have to place a condition here. So in order to place a condition, we have to write if. So we write that if our permission status so we say if our permission status is not equal to permission status dot granted, granted means that the user allows permission to access the contact. And also, permission status was not restricted, let me copy this and paste it here. If it is not equal to granted or restrict, the application should send a request and ask the user to allow the permission to the contacts. So we create a map for permission group and permission status. and we name it as permission. Or let's just make it per. And it equals await permission so it is going to await permission handler dot request permission and we should place an arrangement of permission groups here and we enter permission group dot contacts here, permission group dot contacts. And we ask it to return permission status, or actually the per. Here, we have to write a code. So we write permission group dot contacts, and also we set the application. If the permission is not available, we ask the set to permission status as unknown. So we should write permission status dot unknown. I will explain what I did here. And finally, I ask it to return permission status. Well, what did we do here? First, we ask the application to check the permission status of the contacts. If permission status is not accepted or not restricted before, the application should request for contact permission. And if the request is allowed, the application should return this one. Otherwise, it should set that the permission status as unknown. We enter refresh contacts and ask it to await for a variable named permission status. So we create a variable named permission status. It should await the function of check permission. It means that it should wait for the result of permission. We place a condition here and say if permission status here equals permission status granted, which means that it was accepted by user, the application should create a variable for us named contacts. Yeah, and await contact service. Now we are using contact service library. Contact service. And we ask it to get contacts and it should list all the contacts after getting them. What should we do next? After this, we place it in for We place it here. We place it for int I equals 0 until smaller than contacts.length. So I starts from 0 until the smaller than the contact length. It should plus I for the number of contacts. After plus, we ask it to print the contacts. And all the places of the contacts. It has many parameters like display name, avatar, job title, phone, email, company, and etc. We can select whatever we want here, and we are using display name here. And we ask it to print it. If it is granted, which means that if the user has allowed, the application is going to print them for us. Otherwise, it will print invalid permission. So it is going to print invalid permission if the user does not allow the access to the permissions. Let's get a build to see our application prints contacts or not. Let me show you the contacts. There are two contacts here. The application should show me the Bob and Peter here. And I get a build, and let's see what it's going to show us. And application is installed on the emulator. We have to wait for loading. Now it should ask permission. But as you remember, I didn't retrieve refresh contacts in init state function. So that's the reason that nothing happened here. When I retrieve refresh contacts, it will check the permissions, and if they're allowed, it prints the contacts. So we have to retrieve refresh contacts function in init state. So refresh contacts. Now I hot restart the application. We should wait for a few seconds. As you see, it asks us if we allow Flutter app to access our contacts. So if we press allow, it prints all the contacts. So it prints all of the contacts. And if we enter the contacts, we are again going to see that two contacts we had here. Yes. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this session. Goodbye until next session.